Globally, statistically, arranged marriage is the norm. There are more arranged marriages than not in the world today. It's just that it seems like a very alien concept.
Having gone to Lahore at the age of 21, what was your observation then on, because yours was a love match, but you were in an environment where many of the relationships around you weren't. So how did your experience contrast with what you saw around you?
Well, ours was the only non-arranged, as they call it, love marriage in my ex-husband's entire family history. So there've been generations and generations of arranged marriage. I lived with his family. So I lived with his father, his sisters, their husbands, their kids. They were all arranged marriages. And even the kids, as they grew up and, were in their 20s, I watched them have arranged marriages and was involved in that process. And I think that's kind of what changed my view a bit, is that I went there with all the kind of quite standard preconceptions about this, maybe kind of conflating arranged marriage a bit with forced marriage, that certainly there wasn't that much consent in my head, and then saw a much more kind of, assisted marriage situation where it basically was an introduction, and some very, very happy marriages. And I started to kind of wonder about this idea that you don't start with love, you end with love, that you walk into love, you don't fall into love, that you simmer then boil. And, these ideas, I took away with me when I came back, and my friends, I was in my 30s when I came back to the UK. And a lot of my friends at that point were thinking about having children and looking for suitable fathers of those children. And so we did start to have a conversation about, okay, if you were to have an arranged marriage, who might your parents choose for you, or or indeed your friends, and would that work if you took the component of instant attraction and chemistry away? What might you end up with? And that was kind of the seed of the idea for the film.
You've also spoken recently, in particular, about the fact that arranged marriage isn't as far from, our sphere of experience or culture as we like to think, and that your friend, Princess Diana, who visited you a couple of times at least, I think, when you were living in Pakistan, was herself in what was to all intents and purposes an arranged marriage. Do you think that we look on it as alien, but actually are self-deceiving on that level?
Yeah, to some extent.
But it doesn't live up to your theory of actually, I just realised, of successful arranged marriage then, does it?
Of course, like everything, it doesn't always work. It's not really a theory in so much as it's very easy to be very disdainful of this other way of finding love. And actually, our way is it's pretty random. It's, there are flaws to too much choice as well as too little choice, So, and yeah, of course it doesn't always work. And of course, forced marriage has no place in the modern world. But there's something interesting to me about what has come to be known as assisted marriage. And and we did it, in our own royal family, as you've just said, used to practice, it was always arranged marriages pretty much, and not so long ago. And frankly, the rest of the world, actually, globally, statistically, arranged marriage is the norm. There are more arranged marriages than not in the world today. It's just that it seems like a very alien concept.